Of course, we could live with an Iran possessing nuclear arms if the declared intention of the Islamic Republic wouldn't be the destruction of this wonderful country. Anyway, there are constant rumors that this country is able to respond to a nuclear attack using the same technology.
We have two scenarios ahead of us. Either Iran will acquire nuclear weapons or Iran will be stopped. In Israel, there's a widespread belief at the top levels of government that President Obama will stop Iran by the end, possibly, of next year. I think there's no reason whatsoever to believe that's true. The other option is that Israel will take care of the problem insofar as is possible militarily. The last option is that no one will do it, to use the phrase that everybody likes so much. If I had to bet, I'm not a betting man, but if I had to bet, option number 3 would be the most likely. For the Iranian scenario, NSC 68 suggested, vis-à-vis the Soviet Union, but we can change it to Iran, that it should block further expansion of Iranian power, expose the falsities of Iranian pretensions, induce a retraction of Iranian control and influence, and foster the seeds of destruction within the Iranian system, so that Iran is brought at least to the point of modifying its behavior to conform to generally accepted international standards. On the diplomatic side, we have to recognize that in perception, and perhaps in reality, the US is viewed as a weakening power in the region and perhaps even around the world. We are neither on track to do it or even possibly capable of doing it when it becomes necessary. Thank you.
In this difficult region of the world, America and Israel are the strong horses. They're the ones that set the agenda and can shape events. And in the instance of Iran, over the last 2 years, what we've seen is a very assertive approach. We all know the stories about the computer worm and the sabotage, going after the nuclear program in Iran. We've heard the statements from Moshe Alon and Mayor Dagan talking about the setbacks, something that people weren't thinking about a few years ago. We've seen, I think, a sophisticated policy of pressure and assertive engagement, which has forced Iran into a corner. Today, Iran is much more isolated than it's been in decades. At the security conference in Munich that Danielle just came from, I think this was the first time that the Iranian foreign minister was denied travel to the European Union. A noose has been created for Iran, and it is hanging itself with it, with its own actions. This did not exist before. If you look back in the period from 2004 to about 2008, we had a policy of what I call passive appeasement, that the Iranian moved forward with their nuclear program, and we did not do much of anything in terms of security, military options, diplomatic options, sanctions, and the whole package of things that we have in front of us. So this period of passive appeasement, I think we've moved beyond. And the question is, what do we do next? And I think the Obama administration has taken some very aggressive steps to renew the US-Israel military partnership. Our Secretary of Defense, Robert Gates, has said that today, the US-Israel military cooperation is stronger than ever. This coming from a man who served in 4 previous administrations. So I think Israel needs to work with America to think through, how do we build the coalition? How do we strengthen not only regional security measures, but also what are the diplomatic steps that have been talked about here in terms of dealing with the Arab-Israeli conflict, trying to open up new doors to build this coalition. Because one of the strongest wars in the Middle East we've seen in the last 20 years was the first Persian Gulf War. And that was the result of a strong coalition. So at this stage, the question of, can we live with a nuclear Iran? We should continue to press to make that a hypothetical question, because we're finally on the right path, and I think we're buying more time and putting Iran in a corner. So thank you.
The ballistic missiles of Iran may reach Delhi, Moscow, and Athens. When you look at the progress which is anticipated, in 2 to 3 years, those Iranian missiles would be able to hit Brussels, Paris, and Berlin. And according to the head of the US agency, for ballistic missile defense, his estimate is that around the year 2015, Iranian missiles may hit the territory of the United States. That such a regime would have such global leverage of nuclear power, this is something which is unacceptable. And when I listen to the word containment, I listen to acquiescence. It's the nice way to say when you are speaking about containment, that actually you accept the fact that Iran gets nuclear because you do not believe that the effort will succeed.